All right, welcome everybody. Sorry we're a few minutes late coming out of closed session, but we'd like to welcome everybody back to the Thursday, December 15th, 2022 Roanoke County School Board meeting. Ms. Fashani, would you read us out of closed, please?
Yes, I will. I move that the Roanoke County School Board come out of closed session for the following: to discuss ongoing personnel matters under investigation pursuant to the personal exemption at Code 2.2-3711A1 of Code of Virginia, and to discuss the investigation of a student matter pursuant to the Scholastic Record Exemption at Code 2.2-3711A2 of the Code of Virginia. And I also move to certify that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under this chapter, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the school board.
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Action from closed session. I move that the school board uphold the principal's recommendation in case 2022-2023 number 2 and authorize the superintendent or designee to issue a decision letter setting forth the terms of the school board's decision. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Again, welcome everybody. We are excited to be here tonight, our last meeting of 2022. Looking forward to the holidays upcoming, but if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I apologize, we did have one other item from closed session that we need to attend to, and I don't have it in front of me. Sorry. Mr. Ray, yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Student RE 2022-2023, number 29, as requested religious exemption.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Item number 4, announcement of changes in the agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Ray.
I'd like to, action item 10.03, I'd like to remove that action item from the agenda, please.
I'll second that. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Any other changes in the agenda? Seeing none, I'd like to, 4.02, approval with the agenda with the announced changes.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Presentations and recognitions. Mr. Riley?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Dr. Nicely. As you can see, we're continuing our spotlight on schools. We've got a fantastic group here from Northside High School. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn things over to Miss Green to talk a little bit about all the great things going on there.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Nicely. I know, very nice. I had to come up with a way to compete with, Bobby the Bobcat, so we've got food and cups.
And the owl.
Thank you for having us. When Mr. Riley asked if I would enjoy coming to the board and speaking and sharing about Northside, I said, absolutely. I couldn't think of anything else I would rather do. It's very easy. It was just difficult finding who we were going to showcase. Before we get started, I want to say thank you from the employees of Roanoke County for the bonus that we received today. I shared with our staff, I've been doing this a long time, and up until about 3 years ago, there was no such thing as a bonus in December, and so we do not take that for granted, so thank you all for that.
Well, that's true.
All right, we made a video clip, so that will be a little different. It's about 3 minutes. The transitions are fast, so read fast, okay? This was with one teacher and a couple of our students showcasing some of the things that we are so proud of. Thank you. We have some special guests. Carson, I'll let you hand out the goodies. You can go ahead and hand those out.
She already
Oh,
did.
you've already handed them out? Okay.
Ms.
Lee-
Green, you know you feed us. Wow, that's great.
Well, we have 15 cooking classes. So 11 of them are our culinary and then 4 nutrition and wellness. So they made those for you all. If you think you have eaten well, we have eaten for 2 weeks. So we are ready to get into the wellness part of the nutrition. Next, I have our L students. We were afforded, thank you, Mr. Bradshaw, a full-time L teacher this year, and she has done a fantastic job with our students. So we have our students that are going to speak with you. I will tell you, when Danny came to speak to our students when he was in for Thanksgiving, when he was at Northside, he said maybe 8 students. We now have 40-some L students, so in 4 years, it's quadrupled. All right, so who's first? All right, Stephanie.
Buenas noches, doctor Nicely y los miembros del School Board. Me llamo Stephanie y soy de Venezuela. Mis amigos y yo estamos aquí esta noche para describir los alumnos diversos de nuestra parte del programa de inglés como lengua extranjera a Northside High School y para explicar este programa con 25% de nuestra población diferente fuera de los Estados Unidos y otros que nacieron en Estados Unidos. Representamos 33 países distintos, 13 son hispanos, son cinco continentes diferentes. Esta es una carta que representa nuestros países. Hablamos 25 lenguas diferentes. Los nuevos estudiantes asisten al programa de BCAT. El año pasado tuvimos a Muniba Rashid de Pakistán. Era la primera de su clase y ahora asiste a Virginia Tech, estudiando medicina. Este año tenemos a Génesis Gutiérrez Morales. Es de Honduras, será la primera en su familia por obtener un diploma de high school, tiene 21 años. Daniel Pereira de Venezuela vino a Northside High School en el 2018 sin hablar inglés, aprendió inglés, asistió a Virginia Tech y ahora es un futbolista famoso. Nam Abesuri de Siria vino de este país para escapar de las bombas que destruyeron su escuela y su barrio. Solo hablaba árabe, era tan difícil el inglés y también para vivir sin su madre y otra familia. Ahora es gerente de Taco Bell y asiste a Virginia Western, estudiando comercio. Rixi Discúa de Honduras, que también habla inglés tan fluido, tiene A en todas sus clases, pero no ve a sus padres de Northside High. No ve a sus padres desde hace 5 años. Somos Northside High School, somos diversos, somos América. Muchas gracias.
Muy bien.
Dr.
Stephanie.
Nicely is going to translate.
We are.
Le tengo que preguntar si es de Nicaragua.
¿Cómo?
¿Usted es de Nicaragua?
Soy de Venezuela.
¿En Venezuela se come la S? Los nicaragüenses y los cubanos.
Stephanie joined
That's
us
not
as a ninth
translating.
grader, and she spoke no English. Okay, she is a senior for us, and tell them your schedule.
I have government, I have anatomy, I have AP statistics, I have English 12, college bound, and that's it.
Wow.
All right, now for
Impressive.
those that didn't understand, come on.
They're gonna translate.
Okay. This is Nichicom, and this is Genesis. So they're going to tell you what she just shared with you.
Good evening, Dr. Nicely and members of the school board. My name is Nishikan Punsawat. I am from Thailand. My friends and I are here tonight to discredit the diverse population of English language learners at Northside High School and to tell you a little about the ELL program. Approximately 25% of Northside High School population have homelands other than the United States, but some are born in the U.S. We represent 36 different countries, 13 of which are Hispanic. We speak 25 different languages. Newcomers attend the BCAT ELL program for 1 year.
Good evening, Dr. Nicely and member of the school board. Last year, Muniba Rashid from Pakistan was one of Northside's valedictorians and is currently attending Virginia Tech studying medicine. This year, Genesis Gutierrez Morales. I am a refugee from Honduras. I will be the first in my family to graduate from high school, and I'm 21 years old. Daniel Pereira from Venezuela came to Northside in 2018, knowing no English. He learned to speak English attending Virginia Tech, and he is now a famous soccer player. Nam Abuzi from war-torn Syria came to this country alone at age 13 to escape the constant bombings of her school and neighborhood. She only spoke Arabic. It was a struggle not only to learn English, but to manage loneliness from missing her family. She is now a manager at Taco Bell and attends Virginia Western, seeking a business degree. Rixie Disco from Honduras had mastered English. He is a straight A's student, but has not seen her parents nor siblings for 5 years. We are Northside, we are the Vice, we are America. Thank you.
All right, I want to brag on this one too. She leaves school and she goes to the Pope Gym and she works for SSC and she is off tonight to help us. But this young lady works so incredibly hard and we're so proud of her, okay? And Gabby has only been with us for 3 weeks and she came to support her family. So this is a very big, important part of what makes Northside so special. So thank you, ladies. Okay, thank you, Ms. Perry. I would now like, come on, Miss Gilbert, get up here. Miss Gilbert has been with us, this is her 2nd year, and you want to talk about a rock star. This lady is a rock star. So she's our life counselor. She connects with our kids. She also helps with our PBIS, and I'm going to let her just speak briefly on some of the things she's done for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the life counselor, I provide individual therapy in the schools, and we also do group therapy. Some of the groups that I've been offering: emotional regulation, social skills, anxiety management, stress management, and then some groups, it's just a free space where students can be themselves. They can talk about things that they're struggling with, whether it's identity or whatever that they're kind of working on and struggling with at that moment. Another thing that I do in the schools is I'm the Prevention Club sponsor, and I'm very proud of our Prevention Club. I started the club fresh off last year, and I had about 20 members. This year I have about 30. So I'm really proud of them. We participated in the YOVASO campaign. So YOVASO is Youth for Virginia Speak Out About Traffic Safety. So last year we did a Rival Live video. I don't know if you all saw it, but it was circulating around social media, our videos. We had news media coverage for that, and we won 2nd place in the state of Virginia. So I was super proud of our students. This year we're planning on competing, so root us on and show our videos, and we're glad that we can create awareness in our community. Thank you.
All right, the last one, and I did not realize until they got here, Carson and Stephanie are in the same classes, and they're 2 of our livelier ones. I said, Carson, I'm giving you an open mic. Carson is our SCA president. She is a senior member of the SAC. She is our DECA leader. She is our student section leader, often dressed in her Viking costume. She is a softball player for us, going to Roanoke College to play. She is an office aide. She doesn't know this, but Carson is an office aide because she can diffuse anybody who comes in upset. So I'll leave them 5 minutes out there. It's all good. Carson, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carson Michaels, and I'm a senior at Northside. Miss Green came to me with the question, why do you love coming to Northside every day? And hands down, the best thing about coming to Northside is the Viking community. In the many roles I serve, I'm able to interact with teachers and administration on a daily basis. At school, I feel that the teachers and students have such great relationships. Specifically at Northside, I've noticed this leads to more students being engaged, having stronger social skills, and possessing more positive attitudes in the day. Positive student relationships are fundamental to success. When students feel supported and have teachers they're comfortable with, they're more likely to engage in learning and have better academic outcomes. All in all, I believe the main reason I enjoy coming to Northside, besides the learning, of course, is the relationships cultivated by the teaching and administration at Northside. Thank you.
So as I conclude, I ask myself the same question. I love it because of the relationships. And this was a picture we took today. In case you're wondering where the other assistant principal is, she would be the gingerbread man. Our buses were late today because everybody wanted a picture with her, but we love what we do. Mr. Ray, I remember 3 years ago when you all appointed me and you made a comment about something with gold with green, and I'm the fortunate one that found the gold at Northside, so thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
So, good job, guys.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere yet, Ms. Green.
Oh, wait.
Well, I think we're going to have some comments probably.
We got a roaster yet.
I know the Northside community well. You are doing a fantastic job there. The inclusion, just sharing the love, and what you've been able to accomplish. You're so welcoming, and I've seen a difference in the school since you came, and it's very heartwarming to me to see that in the Northside community. So the acceptance of students from various countries and nationalities. You do a fantastic job of assimilating them to the school and to the community, and I'm very thankful for that. Mr. Ray?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, what do I say that I haven't said, but we do have a common friend that both of us know, and she went to Northside, ended up being one of our executive vice president of audit. And every time we get together for lunch, when she comes in from Atlanta, you are in the conversation. And she said, last time, she said, well, she said, don't you ever think about getting rid of Jill Green? And I said, don't you ever say that again, because it would never come from my mouth. And you have such respect for everyone in the whole county, Ms. Green, and I tell you, we were so fortunate to have you come back to us, and you have made so many strides over there, and we certainly appreciate all you do. And no, you're not going anywhere. Thank you.
10-year contract, right, Dr.? Mr. Greenway?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Green, I think what happened was when you saw gold, we were the ones that found the gold in you. And we are thankful for you being here. You've been a calming effect. You've been a positive. You can tell, and I think this goes for any school, you can tell the folks that want to be there, that have the passion, that are meant to do what you do. And God blessed us with you. So thank you for being there. And thank you, all of you, for coming and sharing wonderful message from Northside. We know what we've got. Northside is a gym, and we've had some, this goes back before y'all were there. We had a few hiccups, but we are so lucky to have Ms. Green and our staff and the students. And thank y'all for coming tonight. Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, all those good things. Thank you.
And Mr. Hudson?
The climate at Northside is just amazing. Anytime that I visit, I just feel so welcomed, and I always get that smile that you're giving right now. I love being there. I got to watch a basketball game the other day, and by the way, I'm not going to say anything.
Of course.
That didn't have to come up tonight.
Well, if you can't say anything, yours beat us, so we're out.
But the passion that you guys have, especially you, and from the sports teams to something like the Warrior Wall, I just think that's so unique and a great way to honor the ones that are serving and the ones who have. And everything you're doing out there is just amazing. I get so many compliments, and I love that you're in that position. And like Mr. Greenway said, I feel truly blessed that you're in that position. You're making such a difference for all of the kids there. And this is just amazing for this young lady to speak in her language tonight, to hear that, and for everything that you do. And for you, the life counselor, the YOVSO is a great thing. I used to lead that at Glenver years ago, and that's a great program. Thank you for taking the time to do that. And thank you guys for being here tonight.
And I do have to say, we have a wonderful staff at Northside. I mean, it's a joy. Tell them what you want to do.
Oh, you need to come.
All right, thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Ms. Green.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 6, report by Student Advisory Council. Ms. Rasharu. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Nicely. I've learned very fast that it is a difficult position to top the school spotlights. I know it will never happen.
You got to flip that.
Just need to wear a costume.
You got
every
the
now and then.
Bobcats. Now we have Northside. It's just, it's never going to happen. But alas, this evening I am excited to discuss the events of our previous meeting, which was held earlier this month on December 7th. At this meeting, the SAC had the pleasure of hearing from two of our very own incredible Roanoke County staff members, Mrs. Susan Peterson and Mr. Chuck Lionberger. Through Mr. Lionberger's presentation, members were able to learn what it takes to coordinate Roanoke County's communications, as well as what a career in the public relations, media, and communications industry looks like. Mr. Lionberger also presented the State of the Schools address. Therefore, the SAC was able to listen to Mr. Linden's address, aiding us in the learning of Roanoke County's tremendous efforts throughout this year and the upcoming projects into the new year. This meeting was full of student input, which was in part to taking Mr. Lionberger's survey on county communications, where we learned from our SAC members that the greatest tools amongst the student population for communication appears to be emails and social media. Now, tonight for my portion of student input, it comes directly from the student input received as a result of our discussion with Mrs. Peterson, who informed our members of Roanoke County's current grant funding opportunities, in which students discussed which areas of the schools they would like to see the money best allocated. The consensus being to allocate funds toward faculty bonuses, specifically for teachers and bus drivers, as well as cleaning supplies for schools and supplies directly for teachers, not only for their classroom use, but for teachers who take on extracurriculars, which often requires the purchase of extra supplies, often taken on by the teachers as a result of themselves who go above and beyond for their students. Now, we understand that some of these cannot be used through the grants available, but I wanted to incorporate these ideas tonight to express the students' perspective across our schools' funding and the deserving of allocation. Of course, SAC members alike to students all across the county are very much looking forward to winter break, to which in returning the SAC plans to incorporate our extensive conference planning will be beginning in January. As always, I thank you for your continuous support of the SAC, and I hope each of you have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. On to item number 7, public hearing on the American Rescue Plan Act, Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief. 3, input requested for use of remaining funds. At this time, we will open a required public hearing on the American Rescue Plan Act, Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief, to allow employees, students, families, community members, and citizens an opportunity to provide comments related to the remaining spending of ESSER 3 funds allocated to Roanoke County Public Schools. Do we have anybody here to speak on that? With nobody to speak, public hearing time is closed. Do we need to do anything else, Madam Clerk?
Nope, no action.
All right, item number 8, hearing of.
One in a while.
Well, we're not to the hearing of citizens and delegations yet.
Oh,
That
I'm
was
so-
just
oh,
on,
oh,
that was just the public
That was
hearing on the ESSER
I thought
3.
you were closing that piece.
Hearing of citizens and delegations. We have none tonight either.
That's the
Is
one.
okay.
That's what he was talking about, Mr. Peter.
Cat must have got their tongue.
Ready for break.
You better move
That's
on
right.
while you're ahead.
Item number 9, consent agenda. Wow, I don't know where this meeting's going.
This might be a record.
Yeah. Consent agenda are all items we have discussed previously, usually at length in a work session. Do I have,
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve item 9, consent agenda as presented.
Second.
motion and a second? Madam Clerk, the roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Item number 10, action items. 10.01, request of surplus used Cave Spring High School band uniforms. Mr. Elliott, welcome.
Mr. Elliott, these weren't the ones that Mr. Ray would have worn back in the day.
I wasn't talented enough to have one of those. I did have a football uniform.
Yeah, there you go.
We had leather helmets with no face guard.
I've seen old movies about it.
Chairman Linden and school board members, and I come before you to ask for permission to have the current old uniforms, the ones that just got replaced, be donated to the high school band boosters so that they can have a fundraiser with those. We put just some background information. We put the last time we surplused band uniforms, we put them on our website, and after a week, we had one bid. They were bought by a company in Pennsylvania called Marching Links, and they bought 98 uniforms for $100. The band boosters at Cave Spring previously had uniforms donated, and they made pillows out of those uniforms, and I have actually one of those. And the band boosters were raised $4,000, which were then used to purchase the band truck or the band hauling trailer. So, and that's what they wish to do with this.
Mr. Ray?
Chairman, yeah, thank you, Mr. Elliott, and I appreciate the opportunity because this is certainly a fundraiser, and it's, making $100 is nothing, and I meant to have Chuck have a picture of one of those pillows. It's really neat the way they had them and showing the various parts of the uniforms and how they put them together, and it's good for anybody that any of the schools would have as a memento, and or either the parents or the grandparents, and it would be something that they would have, from now on. Whereas, $100 and they're gone, and I think it's a great idea as we rotate through uniforms over a 10-year period, which we do, and then each year, all of our 5 schools will eventually have new uniforms. So they, each one will have surplus. And I think it's a great idea. It's a great fundraiser, and to put money back into our community. I think that's a great idea that y'all have had. And, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
Any other questions? A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Elliott.
hope they sell well.
Thank you.
I think Mr. Ray should buy each board member one.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Go along with
You might need 2 pillows.
with your apple
Might
butter.
need to.
Go along with the apple butter.
Raise
Yeah.
the price on those. He just agreed to buy 4.
I gotta have one too. 5.
All right, item 10.02, approval of NHS Stadium artificial turf. Mr. Kegels. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. And before we begin, just let me say happy holidays to everybody. I hope you can step away from politics and enjoy time with your families over the break. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure you guys are as well. If you recall, we discussed at length the installation of artificial turf at Northside High School. We've had budget numbers presented to us from multiple vendors. You do have access to that in board docs under administrative conduct. That information isn't public at this time because this project will have to go out for IFB. So tonight, I am recommending that we appropriate up to $1 million from major capital reserves for the installation of artificial turf at Northside High School. And of course, any of that funding that was unused would be returned to major capital at the conclusion of the project. I do want to emphasize that our budget numbers are still based on the existence of a drainage system we haven't been able to verify due to the weather. We were actually going to go out there and try to dig it up and locate it between the work session and tonight, but because of the weather and the wet conditions, we haven't been able to do that yet. But we do have reason to believe that the needed drainage is in place and that our, we feel confident in our budget numbers at this time.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Make
Mr.
a motion that we move forward with the turf field at Northside.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any questions, discussion?
I think, Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, we vetted this pretty well in the work session that we had, and we asked a lot of questions about, there's padding and some things that were for the turf, and also the company. The verification of the company that would install this. So, for those out there that think we just, this is going through easily, it's not. What we did a lot of discussion with it at our work session.
I appreciate Ms. Fasciani thinking that I would have been upset that this may be a better product than what we put down at Bird. So thank you for taking up for me.
Well, and just to be clear, we have not selected a company yet. This has to go out to IFB, and then we have to get bids back.
Correct. The potential.
One thing I'd like to reiterate too, it's not, a lot of people think, oh, you're doing the football field. Well, it doesn't just affect the football field and the football players that are on a team. We also have soccer that plays on that field. We also have band that plays on that field. We also have rec leagues that'll be able to use that field. So it's great for the community. It's not just solely based for one sport. It's going to affect a lot of people in the community. I think it's a good thing.
24/7 use.
Right. Where now with the Bermuda, we have to be very careful because of the damage and making it unplayable for our football team or soccer team during the season. So this is going to be great. It'll also make it easier for our coaches not to have to maintain these fields. I think it's going to really open the door for a lot more opportunity in the community to use that.
Yes, it's, well, that does seem like a lot of money. I think Northside being the only stadium without artificial turf, it does make some sense. So we've got a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Kegels. Item 10.03 has been struck from the agenda. See information agenda on there. We have nothing this evening. Okay. Item 12, report by the superintendent.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to thank each of our school board members this evening because all 5 of our school board members have been participating in our first 2 Take Your Legislator to school visits, and that's just an extra investment of your time and oftentimes all the work that goes on behind the scenes to make those kind of things happen and look into advocating for the needs of our school systems. It's not noticed, but just thank you for doing that. We did, of course, have our first 2, and I want to thank Delegate Joe McNamara for coming out to visit Glen Cove Elementary. And then today we had Delegate Sam Rasul visit Cundiff Elementary. And so I just want to thank them for their participation, and we look forward to having Delegate Head and Senator Suderline, who have agreed to come on January 6th. We'll look forward to their visit as well as we seek their input and support in making sure that we have the needs of our schools taken care of. And again, thank you for your coming out to do those. Finished up our class visits to all of our schools. We have 1 left that we had to reschedule a couple times, but it's just incredibly just energizing and exciting to see our students learning and also to see our teachers equip our students with the knowledge and skills that they need to be successful. And just seen lots of examples of that in those class visits, and had a great time yesterday at Byrd Middle School. I'm sure Mr. Greenway will speak to that, and appreciate Mr. Hutchinson out there and working with those students to develop those business skills as well. We're going to send home a end of semester parent newsletter tomorrow afternoon. Thanks to Mr. Lineberger for working on that. And that'll go out to our parents and staff and students, and just thank all of our students for their hard work this semester, our teachers and staff for everything they do to not only cause learning to happen, but just to care for our students. And that's evident each and every day. And thanks to our parents also for supporting those endeavors as well. I wish everybody the best of holidays, and looking forward to a 2-week break for our students and staff.
Thank you, Dr. Nicely. All right, item 13, reports and inquiries of board members. Who'd like to start?
You always start with me.
I want to go after Ms. Fashani. That's
Ms.
the only
Fashani
thing
will-
I can go second. The reason being, because I want to make sure that I.
You
Ms.
usually
Fashani will
wait,
start
you usually
with
wait
you.
on I speak before you, and then you.
Mike, you can go first.
No, you go
I'll
ahead.
tell you what, I'll start out. I don't
All right,
mind.
go
'Cause
ahead,
I don't
Brad.
have anything that's controversial to talk about. So first, I just want to say I wish everybody Merry Christmas. And during this time of year, I try to reflect and like Mr. Cagle said, take away the politics and all the things that stress us out on a daily basis. I just want to thank our staff, 2,000 plus employees, correct, Dr. Nicely? From the bus drivers to the cafeteria workers to the folks we have, cleaning our facilities. We couldn't make it happen if it wasn't a team. I've seen so many great things over the past year. This makes a year that I've been able to sit on the board so far. And I'm just really appreciative of the opportunity. And I've got to observe so many great things from each of you. And I just want to say thank you. And I hope you really enjoy the Christmas with your family. I look forward to what we're going to be able to do next year. The Northside field is so exciting. Ms. Green, I know you're going to be happy to see that come to fruition. Very happy for the community out there. thankful for my board members. I think we've accomplished a lot over the last year. It's been a very tough year. We've had a lot of tough discussions here over the past year, and some of the folks that have been here a lot longer than me have said it's been some of the toughest times they've ever seen. So I'm proud of what we accomplished, and I look forward to next year and seeing the things that we're going to see come to fruition with Burton and hopefully our elementary schools and some of the other things we have in mind. So thank you, everyone, and Merry Christmas.
Mr. Ray.
Oh, you got me now. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a chance of going out to Penn Forest and reading to students this week, second graders, and reading them a story, a holiday story, Christmas story. It was about a snowman. And it was really, they were very engaged and very, so I started asking a few questions. And I said, when do you get out for holiday break? And they said, Friday. I said, okay. And I said, how long are you going to be out? And one little boy raised his hand. And I said, well, how long? He said, a month. And I said, so I thought, well, that might suit you, but maybe not your parents. So, it was really, but it's so much pleasure to be able to go out and be involved and be with the kids and see what's going on in your schools, and that really makes a difference, I think. Went to a concert last night at Cave Spring Middle School, band concert, which, it's amazing. I mean, Miss Russo, we have such talent that she comes and presents us with such material with the Student Advisory Council, and, these kids that are so talented. And I was talking to some of them, to the different grade levels. And I was talking to this one girl, and she was playing the flute. Well, I said, how long you been playing that? And she said, this, but I've been playing the piano 5 years, since I was 5 years old. And she's still taking lessons and can play other instruments. So it's just such a talent that we have out there. And to hear all that come together and what we're doing, to giving these kids not only the educational part of learning and the academic, but also the other parts of learning, which is so important that they'll carry on. So, it's just, it really is when you see all these things happening. Ms. Green, you gave us cookies, we gave you a field. Is that pretty good? I'll have a cookie on the way home. So, but thank you very much, and I hope this will give time, and we do sort of reflect on what is important in this season and what's important to us as family, and what we have that we can get together, and sort of the teachers and everyone that's involved sort of re-energize and sort of say, I'm really going to enjoy my time, and holiday time together. So, anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, however y'all want to call it, but Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Ms. Fashani.
So I'll start tonight by saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. I want to wish all the staff all those things because I think they deserve it. It's been a long year, and it's been an amazing start for my term here on the board. Looking back and reflecting, like Brent was speaking about earlier, as you move forward in a new year, it's natural to kind of want to reflect and think about what 2022, what we accomplished. And I have to say, as a board, I feel like we accomplished a heck of a lot. There's no I in team, and I think we all worked together behind the scenes, whether or not it was like this morning, meeting with Sam Rasoul and discussing building construction issues, reaching out to a board of supervisors, talking to constituents. I think we all have worked together to make a lot of things happen, and we have a lot to be proud of. We worked on getting our teachers raises, our staff raises, new playgrounds, just to name a couple things sixth graders playing sports. Our schools are safer. We've got more fencing. We've got more SROs. We have improved media policies. We've allotted money for our high school fields and facilities. We updated HVAC, much needed HVAC systems with the ESSER funding. And of course, the Northside field or the turf. And soon we'll be addressing the learning loss with our high dosage tutoring programming. And I think these are all things that we collectively work together as a board to accomplish. And it means a lot to me. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve just in this short amount of time. And I have to tell you, I really enjoy it. I enjoy working with each and every one of you. I enjoy meeting with people on a daily basis. I love talking to people and making things happen, and it really has been a fantastic experience thus far. We'd had the state of the county. That was wonderful. I feel like things are moving in the right direction. Like I said earlier, we met with Sam Rasool, and we'll be meeting with other legislators in the future. We've got things coming down the pike. The CTE Center, I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can make that happen. We've got to get, we are shovel ready. We just got to make sure we've got the funding in place, and we'll see how we get there. I don't think we'll know too much more until March or April, but I can tell you that every single one of us on this board, we want to see it happen, and we want to do it the right way, and we'll get there. And with that, I want to say thank you to Ken, because Ken, you have been instrumental. You're at Richmond fighting for us, speaking up, and there's different metrics that are in place right now for this different buckets of money that's out there. And Ken has really taken the bull by the horns and is figuring out what we can do to get there. And I also want to compliment our Board of Supervisors who are helping us get there as well. But it really is a team effort. And I look forward to 2023. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and have a safe and Happy New Year.
So that's why I wanted everyone to go, so the Grinch could go last.
Do you want me to go before you?
He's going to have to steal the Grinch's.
You might have to correct me somewhere along the way. So I want to go back to our childhood when maybe we went up to Santa and we asked him what we wanted, right, for this Christmas. So I love that a couple people mentioned no politics. I love that idea. That'd be wonderful if we could get that out of everything we do, and that we could remember that we're all one body of folks that live in the greatest nation in the world. And so, that would be the first ask that I would give Santa. The second one would be that we get SROs funded and in every school in Roanoke County. And we're going to continue that discussion, and we're going to continue to get the push to put an SRO in every school in Roanoke County. And we'll work with our counterparts to get that funded moving forward. They had a nice surplus this year, which is a wonderful thing. And we could put a couple years back, and then we could look to pay for it as we move forward with grants and different things. Unfunded police officers, there's ways to do that. The next item I would ask Santa for is an MOU that was discussed between both boards. Something that we both had the opportunity to look at, that we had the opportunity to have input into, and that we had an opportunity to amend and agree upon between the two boards. So I think that is, a good start to our new year. But lastly, I'm going to speak to the funding one more time, and I think, there's positive to be here. So Cheryl asked me to be positive, so I'm going to be positive. It looks like to me, and Susan and Dr. Nicely, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, or board members, but it looks like to me, if I'm looking at this correctly, it's 23, 24, we get 17, we get 18. I don't have that part of it with me, and we'll have to talk with staff and get 24, 25, we get 80. 25, 26 is technically their year. 26-27 is 17. Is it going to go to the 20? It will go to the 20? All right, so I adjust that. That makes it even a little bit better. So then we're at 117 funded through those years for BCAT, Glen Cove, and W.E. Cundiff. If I'm asking Santa for something and I go over and I look at the Board of Supervisors CIP, I notice we've moved a library up from 29 to 26. And we know how important libraries are in school. But I'm not sure they're as important now outside the public school spectrum. So I'd like to say, Board of Supervisors, if you would give us $10 million of that Hollins Library, we add that to our funding, and you've got $31 million of future capital projects, not identified projects. So they must not be important enough to have anything identified right now. So I'm saying, Santa, please give us that $13 million. That gives us $140 million. If we can make BCAT work at 80, I know interest rates have went up, but I know some costs have come down construction-wise because I'm in that business. If we get the 117, which they've offered, we get 10 of that library and give them the $2 million to renovate that library. We ask for 13 of those future projects. That gives us $140 million. We've worked all year, and the Grinch has shown his ugly side a few times, but we're close. We are really close to being able to make this happen. I think if we can get our counterparts to look at that and see if they'll nudge back over to that $23 million, and I give you 10 from the library, 13 from future projects, that we can make this happen. That would be my request for this coming year. So I hope that we can talk about that with staff, that we can develop some models and maybe we need to ask them to let us have the 25-26 year and then them go to the 26-27. Moves all our other projects, Hidden Valley Middle, Northside Middle, the other schools, brings them all back down to where, I might be in a retirement home, but I'll still get to see some of these projects finished. So we're close, and it is positive that they've given us a path forward in some degree, but we've still got to work hard to get the final piece to make that happen. So let's all think about that as we move forward. Today, we had the pleasure of going to William Byrd Middle School. Let's talk about fun stuff now. It was yesterday, but it was Terrier. We call it the Terrier Kennel. Instead of Shark Tank, it was the Terrier Kennel. We had 8th graders that were proposing businesses, that pitched the businesses, offered the businesses for so many thousands of dollars for so many percent, and we had, 5 or 6 groups. And, I think back to when I was in 8th grade, and I'm thinking, I could never do this. First off, couldn't stand up in front of people, and I still can't speak well, so I couldn't stand up and speak as an 8th grader. And the presentation of understanding, I was saying this earlier, patent and, how much, your business is worth and some of the things that they go through. But it was amazing, and these kids are, certainly they're 8th graders, and they've got to work on some of that, but they were just amazing students, and had all kinds of different ideas. One student had a computer project that she had developed a game, and I thought it was Mario Brothers, and she showed us all the coding that went into that. It's amazing what some of these kids can do, and we're fortunate, and it's all due to staff. It's all due to staff and the administration and the people that we have in these schools. So we are very blessed in Roanoke County. And I want to thank Mr. Rasul and Mr. McNamara, which I wasn't able to be at because I was out of town with Mr. McNamara. But, these delegates are taking their time to come look at these open concept schools. I think they get it and they understand. As we went through today, I mean, how do these teachers do that at Cundiff? It's amazing. You've got them talking over here, talking over there, talking over here. Kids are talking, and we're walking through, and it's just amazing. We did get running water in our preschool this year, and that's wonderful. And we thank the board for making that happen. But these schools have to be fixed. Still think these are the only two left in the state of Virginia, unless somebody knows differently. I'd love for somebody, if anybody's out there and hears us, and if there's another one in the state of Virginia, please let us know. But great things are happening. We're going to get these two elementaries done with BCAT. Phil, I reach out to you. I say, call me. Let's talk. You've talked to the others. Talk to me. Let's make a path forward. Let's get this done, and let's make it something that Roanoke County residents can be proud of, and we move this county forward and not have our schools left behind. We need to keep them moving forward. And with that, the Grinch will stop talking and go, and we'll say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever method of celebration you do. We're lucky to live in this country. We're lucky to live in Roanoke County. It's one of the greatest places in the world to be. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Greenway, and you're actually a nicer Grinch than I thought you were going to be. Let's see. I recall writing some Christmas wish lists as a child, and not probably getting everything that I'd put on the list, but those are some good asks, and we'll see where that goes. But I do think we need to be thankful for what the Board of Supervisors has given us. It will be the largest, when they're close to $100 million as to what they've committed, it's going to be the largest sum of money that they've given to school construction to date, and we need to be thankful for where we have come to. Construction costs have severely limited us. If we'd have said 2 years ago they were going to give us $100 million, we'd have been dancing in the streets and so excited because
we'd
we
have
probably
built all three
I was just
projects.
going to say we could have done all three projects at that point, but costs are going to continue to go up. So the sooner we can do those three projects, the better. I want to brag on Dr. Nicely. I know Ms. Fashani mentioned it, to take the time to go up to Richmond for the school construction committee. Your involvement and willingness to do that shows Roanoke County Public Schools' commitment to trying to get this done. So I thank you for that.
And speaking.
Yes, he did get up and speak. He went 24 seconds over his allotted time, but nobody chastised him for that. So cute. We did get to meet with Delegate Rasul this morning, and we went in there, and the little student was getting tutored, and he came in. Dr. Nicely started talking to him, and he looked up at him. He said, "Are you a new student here?" Inquisitively, and Dr. Nicely engaged him and said, "Yeah, well, no, but what grade? If I were, what grade do you think I would be in?" And at first he looked at him, 3rd grade. And the more Dr. Nicely talked to him, he's like, "So what grade do you really think I might be in?" "Okay, 10th grade." So Dr. Nicely grew up quickly today. He went from a 3rd grader to a 10th grader in a matter of 30 seconds. But I see his involvement in the schools every time I'm in a school with him, and his ability to communicate with the students, and it's just so heartwarming to see. So thank you. I want to brag on Ms. Peterson a little bit. She went over to the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors meeting on Tuesday and presented our year-end carryover very nicely. We're asking for big money and then showing a $62 million carryover, which in essence was really only $3.7 million in surplus. But her ability to explain that to the public, because if the public sees we have a $62 million carryover at the end of the year, they're probably wondering why we're begging for more money to do schools. So in essence, if anybody has any questions on that, she can explain that very well. I've had an opportunity to go to a number of band concerts over at Northside recently. It's exciting to see the students perform in those. Mr. Gallion is doing a fantastic job over there, and just wanted to give a shout out to him and the job they've done. So it's a busy time of year. I know everybody's getting ready for the holidays, and I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We're looking forward to some exciting things in 2023, and I do appreciate everything that my fellow board members have done to make this year as successful as it has been. So with that, I want to say go Buckeyes and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And thank you for the cards and gifts. Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.